Hey everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. Here are 2 Christmas cards I've created, and I'm going to show you how I did this today. I might have a little bit of a variation of what these look like, but very similar to this. So these are really fun to create, and I'm going to show you how I did it. For this card, I'm using watercolor paper. I'm not sure if we still carry this. I don't think we make our own, but if we don't, it's just a heavier weight paper. Our cardstock would probably work fine if you go easy on the water, or you could go to the dollar store and purchase a art book for watercolor painting, and it'll have a heavier paper in there. So I'm using crystal blue, which doesn't exist anymore, and you're gonna need a water brush. We carry these. And you're going to need a little spray bottle, and I'm going to be using some little prescription pill bottles and a little lid for my circles. So anything with a circle lid would work, like this glue stick lid would work, anything. I'm going to start with, I want a bit of a bokeh effect in the background. Bokeh is these dots that you can have. In photography, those dots are caused by blurred out lights in the background. So I've got some half, and these are just cut from Post-it removable tape. They're just punched with a little circle punch. I'm going to use some glacier ink to start, and a blending brush, and then just ink it up. And maybe start on here a little bit, because sometimes the first rub gets it very saturated. And we're just going to go over these dots a little bit. There we go. It's starting to really come now. Let's see. There we go. So I'm going to move these around a bit. Let's put that one there. Maybe we'll have one up here. Now, a goal is to not color these ones in too much. Oh, I see I made a mark there, but that's okay. So we're gonna try to only go where I've put circles and not lay too much ink over my already left bokeh dots. You can reuse them and reuse them. We also have our stencils with some polka dots on them. I don't know if it's still available. I believe it's when I cut up from Dreammaker. So I'm just gonna maybe try to tape off a few. See, I only want these two, so we'll go like this. And we're gonna do the same thing, but now it's gonna be darker circles. It's a little imperfect there, but we can fix that with these, because they'll cover a lot up. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to want to put my Merry Christmas across here, so it'd be good to leave like a gap here, so I need to keep that in mind. Okay, now we take the crystal blue, the first color. I'm going to start with the largest ones. We squeeze it quite hard so that you get that. And you want to spray that with 2 squirts. This is a little dollar store, so I'm going to use 2 squirts on there, and then we're going to go like this. And then I'm going to start with a big, going across a big ball worked quite well, so I think I'll have one big one down here. Turn it in place and lift. And then possibly, I only had 2, so I think I'll do that again. Kind of right here. There we go. Now I'm going to take this size, and we're going to leave that one aside. And I'm going to take Harbor. Again, squish it fairly hard so that you got your little tray. Side has, then you're going to spray 2 sprays, and you want to kind of stir it with this and get it good on the edge. And here's my one for reference again. So let's put one right here, and then put one right here. And then let's put one right, I think, here. Now I have my smallest lid yet, which is this little guy. And for that one, I just kind of, and it's no problem to mix these. I just kind of mixed both to give it a bit of a different shade. Oh, there. One hint I can give you is don't try not to go directly underneath, because then the strings are hard to do. So that's just one little hint. Let's go there. And one more over here, I think. Now let's see where my thing is. Can go about there. If I come down there, let's start with the lighter ones. And try to get where you haven't mixed too much dark in. But remember, water is what makes it a bit lighter, so you can always squeeze a little water into your... Now we're gonna pretend the light is coming from here and the shadow is on this side. So we're gonna start our painting always on this side to get the darkest. And even with watercolor paper, you don't wanna go over it too many times because it'll start to peel. So you wanna just, this is when you start getting the more watery. And I do usually try to leave a little bit of a gap like this so that I have, but we'll fix that later. I can fix that with some white paint. Okay, now let's do this one. So I forgot my gap there, but I'm going to do it on this one so I remember. There's the gap. Once you've kind of get some extra water in here. Now we're going to go with these dark guys. Oh, I forgot to leave my little, I'll do like this so I remember this time. And then I made it too dark on that side, but it's okay. It's very forgiving. We'll just make this one a lot darker towards this side. I need to mix these two for the last ones. Oh, I missed one here. Let's do this one yet. And this one I can't really leave the light part there. Okay, these guys are going to be a mixture. So let's get... Here we go. Oh, here we go. So those are all done. We use this to dry the trays out. It's just a tissue. Put that outside. First thing I do is make sure it's completely dry. So if it starts to bend, you can do it from the back. And we're gonna bring in a ruler and the gold pen. We're gonna get the fine tip gold pen. And we're gonna make strings going up like this. So this one here, my head might get in the way sometimes. Just gonna go like this. There we go. try to find center, but it's not gonna make a big difference if it's not perfect. That one's gonna go straight up. And one trick you can do if you have a ruler like this is just check that the edge is straight. Then you know you've kind of got the ruler straight. And then this one here, this is a tricky one because we don't want it to be at the same spot as that one, but that's kind of where it would be. So we'll go beside. Now for this one, we're gonna go up to here and then on the other side, like that. Then this one here, same thing. We don't want to go right on top of that one. So we'll go up to there and then the other side. The thing that really makes these look real is when you draw the tops. So you just make a little rectangle across the top like this and you color it in. This one would be hanging behind, so I wouldn't be able to see it. Now, sometimes I've missed this white spot, so in order to do that, I'm just gonna get some Delusion spray and I'm gonna put a little bit on my mat here. And because I don't really have anything better right at my disposal, I'm gonna use this. I dried the tip off a little. And I'm gonna make a little triangle as if the light is shining off of it. And I'm just gonna do them all, even if I've remembered to leave one, simply because then they're kind of all look the same. Clean that up. Now we might want a few more of these little bokeh dots here and there. I'm just stenciling in a few more of the little dots to give more bokeh effect. If there's any place that there's something I don't like, I can kind of make it smaller there. So I don't love this line here. I think it's kind of crooked and stuff. So I think I'll get rid of that. So let's go to 4 it's at. So we're gonna go to 3 3/4. There we go, I'll take that line right off there. 5 1/2 is the full, and we're at this, so we need to go to 5. There we go. Now I need to cut something that's just a little bigger to give it a frame around the edge. So I've cut this piece, but I've realized that I wanted to do one more step that I didn't do on the last one, and that was add a little bit of gold glitter. This one here. Give it a good squeeze so that you've got it kind of juicy, and then my gold shimmer brush is getting a bit low on shimmer, so I'm just going to dab it here and there to put a few strategic splatters, and that works out pretty good. I'm inking around the edges with Harbor ink, and then I'm going to use tape runner to fasten it to the mat. Be sure to put plenty of tape runner on because it may be a little buckled from watercolors being used on it. I am on a mission to use up my scraps, so I found a scrap that works with these colors and I'm using it as my matting. I do not know for sure what color it is, but it looks good to me. I hope it looks good to you as well. The sentiment I'm using is from a stamp of the month from last year, but there's lots of good sentiments in the current stamps, and I'll link some down below for you. I'm adding a little accent of gold glitter paper and also some pretty gold sequins from my stash. At this point, I think the card is done, but then when I completed the other card, I realized I had forgotten to add the gold shimmer, the gold paint pen to the highlighted spots. So I ended up doing that after I was done the second card, but I added that part of the video in here for continuity of seeing the entire card made at once. Here I'm starting card number 2. I'm going to tape these 3 mats together and then cut a circle through all of them at once. This way I will know for sure that the mats will line up and the circle will line up. Next, I'm going to emboss the front glacier panel. When I put it in, I have to make sure that it's this way. These are the dents and these are the bumps. And then I have to decide if I want it lots of snow on the bottom or a little, but I just think I want a little. I'm adhering the mink layer, and then I'm going to stencil on top a little bit for a background tree. I'm also going to stamp my sentiment right on the card base, so you'll be able to see it through the little peephole. I'm stenciling the background tree in mink and adding detail with pine, but only lightly so that I can still stamp my sentiment in black over top and it will be readable. This sentiment is from the same stamp set as the other one, but as I said, I will link lots of appropriate stamp sets that you could use to recreate this card. I'm going to fasten down the green layer once I have this little tree in place. So I'm putting down the pine, and then I'm going to pop up the glacier layer on top of that. The layers of the trees is what makes this card fun. I add the final trees to the front layer so they're in the foreground. This completes card number 2. So here's my first cards and here's today's. So I'll just give you a close up to today's. I almost forgot to do those little golden shimmers. So it's like the lights coming from here. Well, thanks everyone for stopping by my channel and watching these cards come together. If you enjoyed this video, then give me that thumbs up, and also I would just love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. Catch you all next time. Bye.